Hello everybody who is joining. Hello Turin on Zoom. Nice to see you here again. And we are here with Sheikh Shourav from Apploye. He's a founder and CEO. And today we are discussing really interesting stuff because we are talking about how to manage a remote team. Because let's be honest, people just don't want to sit in the offices all day, and sometimes they just want to work remote, or they just want to maybe work remote all the time, 100% of their time. But the question is, how do you manage them as a manager? So in this webinar, we will cover all these strategies, how you can manage your remote team using Apploye. And I believe that Sheikh actually have some experience with it. So I think we can jump right away into it. Guys, if you have any questions, just feel free to reach out to us on Zoom. If you're watching on Zoom, we will answer them in the end of the webinar. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, we will answer them in the end of the webinar too. Just comment them below the video, either on the watch party in the group or under the live video on our Facebook page. So without further ado, let me introduce myself. My name is Jakub. I'm CMO of PitchGround. I'll be hosting this webinar. And right now, I think we can jump right into it. What do you think, Sheikh? How are you today?
Yeah, I'm great. And I'm looking forward to this webinar.
Yeah, I'm looking forward as well. This topic is super interesting. So I think you can just quickly start sharing your screen. Hello, Somia. Thanks for joining. I think you can quickly start sharing your screen and we will jump right into the topic. Okay, perfect. Time tracking, scheduling, and monitoring for productive workforce.
Great.
Let's go.
So should I start now?
Yes, you can start right now.
Okay, great. So at the beginning of this webinar, I would like to discuss some of the statistics that a company called Buffer, so many people know Buffer, they made about the remote industry. So I would like to just hover up on this report so that we can understand the importance of remote work and how this industry is evolving.
Mm-hmm.
So actually, like 99% of employees, they say that they would like to work remotely. So only 1% say that no. So you can assume that on the side of the employee, so most employee want a remote job.
So these are the data from Buffer, right? So 2019 report, so they're really relevant and quite new.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, that makes total sense. I mean, like 1% who just want to sit in the office. I don't know anyone like it, so it makes sense. Right, go on.
And to answer this question, do you encourage others to work remotely? 95% people say that they encourage. So only 5% were negative about this. So I thought these 5% were thinking that remote work actually reduced the productivity.
Okay. Why do you think is that? If I will just have a follow-up question, why do you think that people think that remote work like decreases productivity?
Yeah, actually, I don't think that, but this 5% people were thinking like that maybe. So we will discuss that in afterwards, that what are the problem in the remote work industry and how to solve those.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So a flexible schedule is the biggest benefit to remote work. So most people like remote work because the schedule is very flexible. 40% they said that they have the very flexible schedule, and 30% said that working from any location, they can work from their home, their coffee shop, anywhere. And also having time with family is one of the is a big reason for people choosing remote work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Flexible schedule. Yeah, I mean that this one can be a little tricky because how do you, yeah, I think you will get into it. But for me, because PitchGround, as you maybe know, it's 100% remote team.
Remote,
I mean, Udit, CEO, is sitting in India. Our COO is sitting in Portland in US. We have a CTO from Lithuania, and I'm from Czech Republic. So you can imagine that the flexibility is really important for all of us. and like syncing all the time zones sometimes is difficult. But yeah, I think you will discuss how to actually
Yeah,
manage the flexible scheduling in a future
yeah,
future.
there could be a common time where you would be able to work together, but most like most often actual work are done in flexible schedule, like
Mm.
when yeah. Okay, so how much vacation time does your company offer each year? Actually, having vacation is is a big roadblock for many companies who are having office job. So if you are working on office job, you will really like you will have a tendency to ask for a vacation. But if you are working remotely, then actually every day is your vacation. So there is not much demand for vacations.
That's a quite bold statement, saying that every day is your vacation if you're working remotely.
So I would not say every day is a vacation, but like you are being with your family. If you want to visit some place, you can visit it. You can
That's
work
true.
from
That's true. Yeah, without
work.
asking for permission.
Yeah,
That's perfect. Yeah.
and a remote worker can work while traveling and don't necessarily need to take vacation time to travel.
Hmm.
So if you have any urgent task that even if your employees are traveling, they can really keep pace with the main company and give output, because the remote workers are habituated with these kind of situations.
Hmm. Okay.
And remote worker may have location flexibility, but they love to stay home. So actually, I was talking about if they are the remote worker, they will be traveling a lot and they would be working beside the sea beach. But in reality, 84% of remote workers work from home. So
Hmm.
there is not much reduction of productivity that people often think.
That's true. I mean, I have my own office, but I would say that I work like maybe 40% of my time I work from home, about 60% from my actual office, because for me it's quite difficult to differentiate. Like,
So this is your statistics, like coffee shops
yeah,
and
yeah.
cafes.
Hmm.
70% of home.
Coffee shops and cafes. Yeah, that's true. I like to go there as well.
Okay, here's a very important statistics. 91% business owners intended to support remote work, whereas it was 88% last year. So actually, like even 6 or 7 years ago, uh, the executives or business owners didn't like the concept of remote work. But it has evolved so much that now 91% of business owners, they think that they will be supporting remote work.
Hmm. Why do you think it's evolving this way? That companies are actually more open to the idea of remote working?
I think the availability of like the mass penetration of internet and the productivity tools that we're having,
Hmm.
like for example, when Slack came and like Zoom came, so it became very easier for people to communicate. And now again, like tools like Apploye, it also makes people like they give like it makes managers more confident to track their employees and have remote worker as
Yeah,
well.
yeah. So it adds that accountability piece which was missing before these tracking tools. Yeah. All right.
So what percentage of your company works remotely? Actually, there are many companies who are not entirely remote, like PitchGround is entirely remote company, but there are many companies who work in a mix. Like for example, we have 11 employees who are working in the office, and we have 6 employees who are working outside.
Hmm.
So most often it is a mix of both remote and office employees.
I see. Okay.
Now I would like to discuss some things about, like, if you want to build a remote company. So first, what you have to decide is where this company will be based in. So if you have 100% remote company, you have to decide that should you incorporate this company in your country or somewhere else, because there are some exceptional legalities involved while working remotely. So where many founders face problem is that they don't understand that whether they should incorporate that company in their country or somewhere else. So this is number one problem. And number two problem is that many founders from developing countries, they don't have support like payment gateway supports and all those support provided by their ecosystem. And also there is a case about reputations, and that's why many founders that tend to actually found their company in other country. And also there are a lot of founders from developing countries as well. They found their company in a different country for having this relaxation about working remotely and not having to pay taxes to their home country. So I have researched this topic a lot because we had to open our company in a different jurisdiction than where we live. So I would like to shed some light on it. So if you are living in a developing country and want to build a global company with remote team, then this is for you. Or even if you are living in a developing country, but you want to incorporate in your company in a country where the rules are very flexible and which you can like easily manage your remote teams. So this should work for you. So some legalities of remote work and choosing a jurisdiction. So when you're starting a remote company, first what you need to do is to establish your company. So the first option is base it in your own country. So which is best if you are living in a country you are like it has very flexible rules about remote working, then it's a good idea. And then establish a company in a favorable jurisdiction for digital nomads. So if you don't like the concept of border, or if you want to make your company completely remote, then you can choose a very flexible jurisdiction. For example, you can open a USA company via Stripe Atlas program if your company is a software company. So this first one is for like what we did actually. We have opened our company via Stripe Atlas program. They really have this.
I actually heard about it, and it's a really cool program. It costs like $500, right? And they will incorporate your business in.
But one catch is that your company has to be like internet company, like SaaS company, software company, something like that. It can be a consulting company or freelancing company. So there is an issue with that. And number two is Estonia via Estonia e-residency. So actually now Estonia is offering digital nomads to open their company in their country using a program called e-residency. So if you are not sure about any of this topic, just Google it and you will find enough resources. And also you can open a company in Singapore, which is a very favorable jurisdiction. And also you can open a company in Hong Kong. And regarding this topic, you can find some more information in Nomad Capitalist blog. They talk regarding like how you should operate your company which is very remote.
Okay. I love it. I mean, these are amazing information for all the founders there.
Actually, I myself struggled
Stripe
on this
Atlas
information.
is actually a really good program. So guys, if you don't know it, I believe it's a stripe.com/atlas, right?
Okay, so if any entrepreneur here who would be interested to have a Stripe Atlas company, he can just ask in the PitchGround group. I would be happy to share my invite about on it.
Perfect.
Now, where do you hire remote employees? So first of all, freelancing marketplace like Upwork, Freelancer, TopTal, and Fiverr. This marketplace, you can hire some good freelancer or remote employees. So at first, you would be like hiring this hiring them as freelancer for a particular job or for a particular task. And if they gain enough trust from you, then you can hire them as a permanent employee. And also Angelist jobs and LinkedIn. So Angelist is the platform which is for startups. You can post your job there and get good amount of resumes from there. And also Stack Exchange and other tech forums. So very often you can post your job in this platform. If you're hiring developers, engineers, then this is a very good forum. And also, due to the rise of digital nomads, there are remote job sites like FlexJob, Remote OK, and We Work Remotely. You can search more about those and make a list, and you can post your job on this platform. And and most important, like this is the part I would give more emphasis on, which is personal connection and social media groups. So there are social media groups for like-minded peoples, uh, like PitchGround is a group where many entrepreneurs live, and as well like there are a lot of other groups where there are people of similar interest live. So you can post your job on that group or make socialization. Also, personal connection is a very important factor while choosing employee, because the people who will come from personal referral will most likely be someone that you are looking for.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we found most of the people in PitchGround via our community, so it works. I mean, like social connection, social media groups, and personal referrals. It's a way to go. So I think it's a good place to start, and then of course go to AngelList and LinkedIn and other sites.
And one thing I will be very cautious about hiring is that uh, don't hire permanent employee right away after you hire from Upwork or freelancer platforms, because the employees the freelancers that work on this kind of platform has a general tendency to work for as many clients as possible. So what you would do is that to make ensure that this particular freelancer is very loyal to you, and then you should hire him permanently, but not before that. Because like there are many stories of disaster after hiring from freelancing platforms.
How would you decide that the freelancer is already like ready to be onboarded full time?
Actually, for that, you definitely should work like 2 to 3 months with that freelancer.
Okay.
And I should really make a very distinction with freelancer and remote employee. Freelancer is someone who will come to your workplace and like who will join your company and do a very temporary job. Like you need to make a small design, or you need to make a small consultancy stuff. That's when you'll be hiring freelancer. But don't treat freelancers as your employees, and don't treat your employees as freelancers. So very
Mm-hmm.
often, like many remote companies, they operate in a way that their employees are like freelancers, so which is not a good practice at all.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's a good tip.
Especially if you are in technical development stuff, which is a topic that I will also discuss in a later webinar. Don't hire freelancer. If you are a product-based company, try not to hire freelancer for that. You should hire remote employee. If you want to hire remotely, employee is a good thing. Like he will understand your code, he will understand your vision, and write code according to that. But
Mm-hmm.
if you right away take an outsider freelancer to work on your code, then uh, it's very likely that there will be a mess in it.
I mean, there's a risk involved as well if you like give
Yeah,
access to the code like to somebody who you barely know.
yeah, that is also a concern as well.
Mm.
So I would like to discuss about like what are the biggest struggle with working remotely, and then I would like to discuss some of the steps that how this can be solved. So I shouldn't say that we have figured everything out, but I will share our experience that how we made our remote worker very productive and 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 motivated as well as engaged. What's your biggest struggle with working remotely? So unplugging after work, and loneliness is a very important factor here, because many remote employees, they say that uh, they feel lonely because they are not in contact with their colleagues and not in a vibrant situation. So you have to, as an employer, you also have to focus on this, that so that your employees don't feel lonely. And collaboration and communication, this is an important factor. Distraction at home. So there are a lot of distraction that happen in home, being in a different time zone than teammates. So the problem you said actually is like 8% that's said by people. So I think uh, there are solution to this. And 8% people said that staying motivated, and 7% of people said that taking vacation time. And last but not the least, 3% said that finding a reliable Wi-Fi. So I'm not sure well, like about this 3%, that where did they did find these excuses, because everywhere there is reliable internet nowadays. Okay, so challenges faced while managing a remote team. Number one is communication challenges. You can't monitor your employee in person, and you can't fix any problem in person. So when you are in a personal contact, you can have an eye contact. You can give your people can sense your emotions. But while in a remote team, it's very difficult to manage those kind of communications. So communication is not only that you will write something, or you will have a conference call, but exchanging emotions is also part of a communication.
That's true. There's actually the data that the words coming out of your mouth are actually around like 20 to 30% of the whole communication, and the rest is like the body language, tonality, and so on. So yeah, Slack doesn't save like everything. It will save just a part, but you cannot still see the person, so you maybe don't understand everything fully. Yeah, good point.
So a solution could be you must establish a good communication with team members. So you should make frequent communications, like conference calls, use virtual medias to communicate, like video calls, conference calls, and also make schedule about your calls, like weekly calls or daily calls. So it depends on your time and your pace, but definitely try to make keep contact with employees as much as possible, and give them like the door to contact you directly. So that way they should feel at home.
Mm-hmm.
And the challenges of keeping track of time, like distraction is a big part in remote work, as well as motivation. So when you're in a workplace, there is very the motivation comes easily, because you can see that your coworker is working hard. You can see that that everyone is working or having silence. So that easily makes the that easily makes you motivated. For example, when you are in a library, like you will easily tend to read some books, and the library is not a place for gossiping. So just like that, in office, the people has general tendency to work, and that's why keeping track of time for remote employees is very important. This is a very difficult problem that remote employees face.
I see. Mm-hmm.
And also, all employees are not reliable. I should say, like, most people are reliable, but you might have some employees who has joined your company after like 1 or 2 months, and you really can't like 100% rely on them that they will work on their own. Actually, you shouldn't expect to, because people are generally like that. If people are least resistant, people do something which is least resistant. So if they are not in a workplace, and if they are in a room, then they will be easily distracted, because that is something that is least resistance. What do I mean? What do I mean is that if we have a tab open, like about Facebook or Reddit, then like it will be very easy for you to go to that tab, and as person, you will have a general tendency to choose a path which is least resistant to you. So which is like just like browsing something. And so when there is not monitoring or not accountability, then like keeping track of time is very challenging.
Mm-hmm.
So what you could be doing is weekly or daily reports of their progress, and use Apploye to track time to monitor your employees' activities.
Mm-hmm.
So monitor your activities, and also have daily reports. So what we do in our company is that like at the beginning of every week, we give employees to write like what they will do in this week, and then at the end of that week, we ask them that whether what they have done, what they have written before has been done or not. If there is something that they didn't do in this week, then there is a space where you should write that why you couldn't, you are not able to do that task. And again, also there is a tab where we ask employees to write that if he was not able to do that task, why, is there like, were there any fault from the company itself, which is called roadblock. So employees can like, if they don't do any task, that could be two reasons: that they were incapable of doing that task, or they needed something from the company but company didn't give them, so that's why they couldn't do the task. So the second is something that they had to write on the roadblock. Challenges faced while assigning individual project. So as you can give instruction to your remote employee in person, there are chances of miscommunication. Like the thing that we were saying before, that you cannot sense people emotion while they are in a remote environment. So you must reduce this miscommunication. The solution could be make video calls on weekly basis, try to make quarterly visits twice a year, and many remote companies are doing an annual retreat where they gather every remote employee in one place, so which will make a reunion, or like they will strengthen the bond between the employees. I think you guys should also have that kind of retreat. Yeah,
we are planning it, and it will happen on December, and there will be a lot of content in the group from this reunion.
okay, that would be great.
Yeah.
So yeah, and always be ready for the unexpected. Why? Because when you have employees who are working under contract and who are working on your workplace, then everything is written. You have to abide by the HR policies of your country. So if they do something, you can easily take measures. For example, you have an employee who stole your code, or who stole your intellectual property. If you are in an office environment, you can easily defend that. No, not kick ass, but like he can actually move. He can actually leave the company. But what you can do, that you have this HR policies, so you can take the measurement, or you can make a lawsuit. Everything is possible.
Yeah.
But when the employee is working remotely, this kind of things are not very available. So that is why you should document everything, store every document. Documentation is really the key for documentation is really key for running a remote team. I know actually there is a document management software is running in PitchGround, so published. So buy that deal and just use that to document everything to your remote employees.
That's a good plug. Thanks a lot.
Okay. And another documentation I would really like to emphasize on is onboarding documentation for employees. So if you have an employee who will be working on social media, so you have to write everything down, that what his responsibilities will be and what you are expecting from him. So what happens is that when there is a new employee, you don't need to onboard him once again. He can read these documents, and you can also assign your previous employee to train that other employees. And also be open with your team members. You should trust them, and they should trust you. So how do you convince them to trust you is up to you, but you should really open to your team members. Be very frank, and make an environment where everyone is friendly to each other. And also appreciate their work and tell them to inform in advance before switching to another job. So switching job in remote work is a very difficult issue, because uh, it's very easy. So if you are working in office, switching that job is it might be difficult because you have to give a notice before, and then HR has to sign it, and there are a lot of legalities involved. But switching job in a remote environment is very easy. So you should really try to retain your employees so that they don't leave. But even if they leave, you have to make a termination protocol that what they have to do in case they are leaving the company.
Mm-hmm.
So this is also important. So I should say this termination protocol should be available for every employee, even if you trust them with your heart and soul. But still, you should install a termination protocol. You should not expect that some employee will work for you for the eternity of their life. They have their own life and vision and goal. So you should definitely write that protocol. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And also there is the case of accountability. How can you hold your employees accountable? Explain everything, every plan or project to them. Explain why the project exists. So the purpose of the project is very, very important while communicating with a remote employee. Sometimes we just assign them in a particular task and they don't understand the whole picture, that why this specific task actually exists. So you have to tell them that this is the project and this is our goal, and for this goal this particular task has to be completed within this time. So
Mm-hmm.
actually communicating the goal is also important. Many owners, they feel that if they communicate the bigger picture, then there could be issues or the employees could steal their ideas.
Yeah.
But I think you definitely should share everything with your employees. If you need, you can sign NDAs or those kind of stuff. But if there is no people that work on your vision, then it will not be a reality actually.
Mm.
Make sure that employees have everything that they need. So I told that we have this weekly work report where employees has to write that what is the roadblock that is pausing them from doing the work. So you can do that way and check these roadblocks. This could be that they need to buy some specific software, or they need to have access to a specific platform of your company, and you need to share this passport with them, but you are not doing that. So in those cases, you really need to be very proactive how you should communicate these things.
Mm-hmm.
So make sure that employees have everything they need. After providing the platform for no excuses, you can hold the employees accountable. So just have a no excuse policy in your company, that if some employee has really something coming up, then they can communicate this beforehand, but be strict with the task that is given, and that way you can keep the accountability.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I also think that you should also talk about this topic because you are working remotely. So give us some insight, like what is the experience, and how do you think that the remote team should work properly, and remote team should like
When I
function?
started working with PitchGround, it was in really early stages, and the biggest difference I've seen, like working so far on PitchGround together with the team, is after we started having these regular meetings, and after we started using Slack on a daily basis. So we are having meetings every Monday, and it's a really like good time where we discuss everything which is planned on the upcoming week, and then we just talk about all the little things we need to do on the Slack. And like, you open Slack and there's all the time there's something happening. So you just open Slack, and right now you can hear what affiliates are doing. You can see what is the status of the development. So it's almost like if you would be in the office and you would be going to these different different offices and checking on the people who are working in the offices and asking, hey, what you working on? Oh, this is interesting. And I mean, this is one of the good things about Slack, because Slack will allow you to do it. And after we started organizing our stuff in Asana, I mean, it's been like three biggest changes. So regular meetings, as you mentioned, then communication via Slack, like really close communication on a daily basis, and then like organizing everything and keeping people accountable with deadlines in Asana.
And also, how do you handle dependencies? So actually, we use ClickUp instead of Asana, but we always try to like handle dependencies in a smart way. For example, for you to do something, there should be another employee to do something before that. So
all right, you can actually do this in Asana. That this task is can be only done if, right? So you can do.
So like task X is a prerequisite for task
yes,
Y.
exactly. That's what we do. Yeah. We basically have the huge checklist for every launch we have, and people have clear idea what they need to do, when they need to do it, and when is everything happening. So it's getting more organized every launch.
So actually, I had a small advice for remote employees, not employer, that I used to work remotely when I was in China. So the one of the most important thing was to differentiate between what is home and what is work. So this is very important. So some psychologists suggested that if you are working remotely, you should have a different space for your work. Don't bring the work in your bedroom. So what happens is that if you also bring the work in your bedroom, then there is a general anxiety that happens that everything is work. Your brain is designed to think that, my bedroom is also for work and my workroom is also for work. So there is a general anxiety that happens. So if you can keep your work in, this might be seem as very silly, but it really works.
No, it makes total sense. I mean, like separating the places of work makes total sense. Right now, I'm working from home, but normally.
But you have your own work office, like your home office. Right?
Yeah. I have an office in the next building. It's actually quite close to my apartment, and I do most of my work there. But there's more people in the office, so I need to come here home to have a quiet room to do all the webinars and so on. But after this, I will just go back to the office and do all the work I still need to do.
Great. So next topic is the strategies to effectively manage a remote team. So this is the summaries that I could make. Make clear what you expect from your team. So making a clear expectation is very necessary, because sometimes the most devastating thing for a team is that they don't know what they are supposed to do. And as a founder or owner of a company, you have to communicate with them and clearly mention them what their expectation, like what is your expectation from them. So this works great. Do not assign too many tasks at the same time. This is also very important. You should not assign too many tasks at the same time. That way, people will be overwhelmed and their productivity will go way low.
What would you say that it's too many?
Like assigning different tasks which requires people from switching the context.
I see. So like in one day, that one task will be creative, another task will be more analytical. So this is difficult for brain to handle actually. So
yeah, when people they juggle between tasks, or they may make multiple context switching, the productivity is productivity decreased actually drastically.
Okay.
Clearly define which tasks are most important. So in most project management tools, there is a provision to define the task whether it is very urgent and whether it's a normal or low priority. What you should do, that you should not you should not mark every task as urgent. Then there will be
Yeah, there won't be anything else.
yeah.
Yeah, I actually heard this like as a management advice too, that using a word ASAP too often isn't good. Like, because it's similar like urgent, but after you will be using it all the time, it will it won't have that weight that it needs to have. So people
Actually,
will be
then
like,
you
all
will
right, another ASAP task, so another task without the priority.
actually you won't have a word to replace ASAP then. So that's a big problem. And constantly
Can you repeat it, please?
yeah, I said that if you say ASAP every time, then like when the work is actually very urgent, you cannot communicate that message, because people are used to think that every task is ASAP,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
every task is urgent.
And then it's a management issue, because you shouldn't actually get into the situation that you need to have it like ASAP that often, because you need to plan properly.
Yeah. Constantly follow up what they are doing. So you need to follow up everything and use project and task management software, so there is no excuses. So this is very important, that many people actually they don't implement a project management software out of they don't think it's necessary or they don't think it's important. I'd really recommend to use a project management software like Asana or Trello or ClickUp or something like that. And we will be really bringing Apploye integration with these project management tools, so that you can also track your times.
Mm-hmm.
And just remember that we had this question that many task management solution has actually a timer or a time tracking. So what is the difference between that and Apploye? So actually, that feature is actually a very miniature version of time tracking. It gives you a glimpse of time tracking, but Apploye is actual time tracking, and Apploye also has the monitoring feature. So there are a lot of difference between time tracking in ClickUp or time tracking in Trello, and then time tracking with Apploye.
I see. Mm-hmm.
Give them a clear explanation what and why they're working, and never deflect from your goal. So this is also important, that you should not deflect from your goal with the company. For example, I can share my experience regarding PitchGround, that many of our users are asking from some features which actually conflict with our goals. For example, some of the users, they asked that we should lock the employees, and they will not have the option to actually end the task in a particular time. Yeah, they will not have the provision to stop the timer. Actually, with due respect to those users, because that should be also fine with those work environment, but that is not goal with the employee, and that is not something that we can actually do. If I do that, then I am deflecting from my vision, and my employees will not respect me, because I have set a vision and I'm not keeping my word. So this is very important.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it. I mean, you could actually make one or two customers happy for implementing this feature, but in the end, in the long run, it would hurt your company like massively.
Yeah. So this is no way disrespecting to those people who are asking for that feature. But what I am saying is that I have set a vision for the company, that we will not do. We'll try our best to give freedom to both employees and employer, everyone, and we will be compassionate to both parties. So,
and it's difficult. I mean, you are doing a difficult job to keep
definitely,
these things on the same weight. Freedom for employees and freedom for employers and managers.
Yeah. Many employers will feel that this app don't give them too much control, because there are other solutions that there might be if you install them, then it will track all the time. Even there are solution who will who will take your camera and give you a photo of you. Do you understand what I mean?
Oh my God.
Like,
So they would
yeah,
literally see my face.
yeah, they will see your face while working. So we also had this request, and actually we have this kind of competitors. But to survive in the marketplace, I'm not, like, we could build those features. It's not, it would not be that difficult. And also, I would not blame those companies because they are serving a specific need or they are serving a specific industry. But we will
I
be
mean,
serving in a
it's not
specific
good,
industry.
like, especially if you're working from home or remotely. Sometimes I work naked. I don't want anyone to see me
Really?
naked. I mean, that's a good that you're not implementing it.
Yeah, so that is too much control. So we try to make a balance. And then many employee will also be not happy that they will think that okay, this product is tracking our time. This is actually like spying on us. So we have you have a very high chance to be misunderstood by at least some party.
Hmm.
So yeah, but if we keep our vision that we will be like working for both employee and employers,
Yes.
then I think in near future people will understand, and we will definitely go to a place.
Mm-hmm. All right. So,
Yeah,
so
this
that
was
was
it.
the last tip. Never deflect from your goal. I love it.
Yeah, and
All right.
also the last word that you have to instill
I
your
don't hear you well. I don't hear you well. I think,
yeah. You can hear me now.
yeah, it's better. Yes.
Yeah. So you have to instill your vision and your passion, and also what you're going to do with this company to all of your employees. This will make them a part of your journey, and they will feel that this is also their company. That way, they will be more productive, and they will deliver a better result for your organization.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Makes total sense. All right. I think we will be showcasing the products in the next webinar. So right now, this was actually filled with information. So let me just quickly share my screen to start the part everybody is patiently waiting for, because I wanna explain how everything works here on PitchGround. So basically, you can buy Apploye, which is an app which helps you to track your time or the time of your workers, of your employees, but on their terms. So it's not a big brother. We saw the comment that Apploye is a big brother, spying on everybody, what is everybody doing. And it's not true. You as an employee or as a worker, freelancer, remote worker, VA, you will just choose, hey, I work for the next 2 hours, and you will just turn on Apploye and it will start tracking these 2 hours. So in these 2 hours, you will be tracked, but you chose to be tracked. Unlike other competitors, sometimes they will just some companies, they do that you will open your laptop and they will automatically start tracking if you're home, if you're not home, and they will just track everything, which will take a portion of your freedom, quite a big portion of your freedom, because a lot of our lives are happening on the internet. But Apploye is quite different. Now, this is actually the first time in a whole lifetime deal market that this tool is available on a lifetime deal. And you can have it for $49. And we actually increased the number of users from 2 to 4 for this very basic plan. And you can choose from many other plans, which are mostly different with number of users. And there is a bonus going on till the end of this Friday. Yeah, Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern time. And you will get 10 users bonus if you will buy the $245 license, which is still a no-brainer. I mean, you would normally pay over $2,000 per year, but you will pay just 10 times less for a lifetime. So it's a no questions asked deal. So guys, take advantage of this deal. It will end in 2 days, 3 hours, 10 minutes, and 40 seconds. And so you will get these bonus users. Now, what are users? We actually implemented FNQ section. So users means that users can be employees, for example. Yes, so if you get like this plan, you will get 4 employees. Is that right?
I should say users are famous employees.
I cannot hear you well, Sheikh.
Hello.
Yes, better.
Yeah, anybody who can log into the system is regarded one user. So organization owner is one user, and if he assigned a manager, he is also included as a user. Employees are also users, and organization owner can track their managers, and managers can track their employees, and organization owner can track everyone. So
I see.
this is the system built in Apploye.
So the bottom line is, it really doesn't matter if you're employee, manager, organization owner, but if you're a human, you are user, right? If you're a human using Apploye, you are user. That's it. Yeah. All right.
If you have a login system, then
yeah. All right. Guys, so you can grab your license on pitchground.com/products/Apploye with a capital A. And we added this FAQ section, so you can find the most frequently asked questions here. You can read the reviews, and you can join the community here. I already noticed that some people were asking some questions here. So if you have any questions, you can just ask them here or ask them in our Facebook group. We are slowly transitioning everything into our website. So once again, pitchground.com/products/Apploye and grab your license. Either one you prefer, but if you want a bonus with 2 users, grab this one, which is $200.45. Dollars. Yeah, so that's about it, guys. pitchground.com/products/Apploye. And if you like this webinar, make sure you will join us tomorrow as well, because we'll be talking how you can increase productivity in your organization using Apploye. Then on, I believe it's on Friday, time tracking and improving productivity in your personal life. So if you want to improve your productivity while working on your day-to-day work, join us on Friday. It will be amazing. Then Apploye use cases: manage your field service, call center, and agency with Apploye. So we will be discussing all these different use cases. And then on the 14th, how we built Apploye, you'll learn how to build a tech startup and how to manage everything. Now, on tomorrow and the day after, Sheikh will be joined by other successful SaaS entrepreneur. Is that right?
Yeah.
All right. So who will be joining?
He's Asif Rahman. He's a successful entrepreneur. Actually, he built
I cannot hear you, Sheikh. Please.
Hello. Yeah. So I will be joined by Asif Rahman, who is our advisor, and he is a serial entrepreneur, and who will join with me in next 2 webinars.
All right. So guys, if you want to hear some more golden nuggets from another successful entrepreneur, join us tomorrow and join us the day after as well. All right. So once again, pitchground.com/products/Apploye. Make sure you will grab your license before it will go away. Make sure you will grab the $245 plan, so you will take advantage of the 10 users deal, which is ending in 2 days and 3 hours. All right. Thanks a lot, Sheikh. It was amazing. You prepared some really interesting stuff.
Yeah, thank you as well.
All right, everybody who joined, thank you very much. And I will see you tomorrow together with Sheikh and his successful entrepreneur advisor. All right. Thanks a lot, Sheikh. And thanks a lot, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, bye.